One of the signings of the season.
This kid is special, man.
Ever wonder how championship rosters are built? Sure, the draft has plenty to do with it, but few teams win it all without crucial veteran signings in March. So who's done it the best over the years? Here are the top 10 greatest free agency hauls in NFL history.
That's it for KC. Bucs are the Super Bowl champs.
Few free agent classes have ever made an instant impact like the 2020 Buccaneers, a franchise that hadn't won a playoff game in nearly 2 decades, went from mediocrity to champions in just one season. And it all started in March.
I'm so happy to be in Tampa Bay, and I wanted to say thank you guys for welcoming me and my family into your community.
First, the GOAT himself. At 43 years old, skeptics thought Tom Brady was done. But he wasn't just a free agent signing, he was a culture changer. Brady threw for the 3rd most yards in the league and a whopping 40 touchdowns.
Brady, deep shot. To the end zone for Miller, and it is caught for a touchdown.
He led the Bucs to 2 straight division titles, passing for the 2nd most yards in the league in that span. Tampa won its final 8 games of the 2020 season, if you include the postseason. Helped to have another free agent addition in Leonard Fournette to help on the ground. Cut by the Jaguars, signed by the Bucs, playoff Lenny was born, racking up over 400 yards from scrimmage and 4 touchdowns in the postseason.
On first down, Fournette stutter steps and now is able to bounce. What a move, a spin, and touchdown!
And let's not forget Antonio Brown. Mid-season signing, instant impact. He became a crucial piece of Brady's offensive puzzle.
There's the fake, there's the pass, and there's the catch for the touchdown! Antonio Brown!
But it wasn't just offense. The Bucs retained defensive stars like Shaq Barrett and Ndamukong Suh, vital pieces of a defense that shut down Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And we're not even counting Gronk, who came out of retirement and was acquired in a trade with the Pats. Tampa's 2020 offseason not only made the franchise relevant, it turned them into world champs.
Goes directly to Clement. Clement reverses it. And it is a touchdown by Nick Foles!
Some teams build through the draft, others strike gold in free agency. The 2017 Eagles did both, and in the process put together a Super Bowl roster. Howie Roseman went to work in the offseason, bringing in veterans who could aid the growth of Carson Wentz, their 2nd overall pick a year before. Let's start with Alshon Jeffrey, a big-bodied receiver who gave the offense a true number 1 target.
And now Wentz going deep, what a catch by Alshon Jeffrey. He's in, touchdown.
Jeffrey scored 12 touchdowns in 2017 if you count the playoffs. Next came Torrey Smith, a deep threat who stretched the field.
The Eagles are 6 for 8 on 3rd down. Flea flicker. Foles launches downfield. Touchdown!
Smith accounted for over 150 yards in the 2017 playoffs. Don't forget about LeGarrette Blount either, a bruising back who ran through defenses. He rushed for over 700 yards in the regular season and scored in every postseason game.
Blount is in the backfield. LeGarrette Blount swings to the outside, inside the 10, Blount to the end zone, behind a Selleck block.
On defense, Chris Long, a veteran leader who recorded 5 sacks, and Patrick Robinson, a slot corner who delivered a pick 6 in the NFC Championship.
Patrick Robinson back the other way. Looking for a block. Gets it. Robinson for the touchdown.
But the star of this class is undoubtedly Nick Foles, the ultimate insurance policy who became the Super Bowl MVP.
Line does a good job. The pass into the end zone, and it is Corey Clement. Yes, touchdown from the 12.
Backwards out wide, one-on-one.
Clement flares out to the right, caught over the middle, and into the end zone.
Foles replaced Wentz as the starter in Week 15 of the 2017 season and never looked back. He averaged over 300 yards per game in the playoffs, taking down the GOAT in the process. Foles would come in as the backup hero again the following season, leading the Birds to the divisional round.
Panthers have done it. The king is dead.
In just their second season of existence, the Carolina Panthers shocked the football world, winning the NFC West, finishing 12-4, and making it all the way to the NFC Championship. But how? Well, let's start with a Hall of Fame outside linebacker.
Jeff George looks left. No pressure. He's down. Third sack of the game. It's Kevin Green.
Their historic free agent class was headlined by the great Kevin Green, who Carolina paired with Sam Mills, another future Hall of Famer signed the year before. Together, they'd lead the second-best scoring defense in the NFL in 1996. Green was an All-Pro that year and racked up 41.5 sacks in 3 seasons with the Panthers, though he did make a quick detour to San Fran in 1997. Speaking of the Niners, they let veteran corner Eric Davis depart after the '95 campaign. Carolina was quick to pounce.
Enabled them to get that touchdown.
Buccaneers 3-0 at home this year. Picked off down the sidelines. Eric Davis stays in bounds and scores.
Davis had exactly 5 picks in all 5 seasons with the Panthers, making a Pro Bowl in '96. He missed just 2 games in that span. Perhaps their most underrated signing that year was the explosive return man Michael Bates. 5 years in Carolina, all of which ended in Pro Bowl trips. Bates is also a member of the Hall of Fame All-Decade team of the '90s.
Collins, play action, going in the end zone, and caught for a touchdown! What a catch! Woo!
Can't say underrated without mentioning the great Wesley Walls. After a quiet start to his career, the 30-year-old tight end peaked with his 3rd team. He went on to make 5 Pro Bowls in 7 seasons with the Panthers. No tight end in the league had more touchdowns from 1996 to 2002. And finally, there's Steve Berline, another journeyman who found a home in Carolina.
Pressure, the blitz was on, the pass complete to Jeffers. He's going for a touchdown.
Berline started 51 games in 5 seasons, winning the NFL passing title in 1999. We'll kick off the honorable mentions with a trio of classes that helped build championship rosters, starting with the 2000 Ravens.
Dilfer from his end zone, over the middle, that's complete. Shannon Sharp, room to run. Sharp to the 40, to the 30. Gonna make it to the end zone for the touchdown.
Tight end Shannon Sharp headlines this class, and his 2 seasons in Baltimore resulted in over 1,600 receiving yards. Trent Dilfer won 11 straight starts to close out the Ravens Super Bowl season. He was stable enough to let the defense shine, and they did just that thanks to the Big D tackle Sam Adams. The free agent signing made the Pro Bowl in each of his 2 seasons in Baltimore. Finally, there was fullback Sam Gash, who helped Jamal Lewis blossom early in his career.
Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
Next, we go to New York, where their free agent class of 2005 helped the G-Men capture the Lombardi a couple years later. Plaxico Burress racked up over 3,000 yards and 29 scores in his first 3 seasons in the Big Apple. Linebacker Antonio Pierce solidified their defense, making a Pro Bowl in 2006. Kareem McKenzie was a stalwart at right tackle, earning 2 rings over his 7 years with the team.
3rd and 5. Breeze in as he throws. It's into the hands on the free ball of Michael Bennett. Bennett, Seattle touchdown!
A pair of ferocious pass rushers get a shout out for the 2013 Seahawks. Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett helped Seattle reach the top of the mountain with their first ever Super Bowl victory. Bennett made 3 Pro Bowls in his 5 years there, while Averill notched 34.5 sacks and 14 forced fumbles. Anytime you sign a 2,000-yard rusher in free agency, you know things have gone well.
Hurts has time. Now locates Barkley out of the backfield. Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first down, jumping up in the air to the 30.
The spin move at the last second. Bro. And then, what, Tiki, you're right. What is that?
Bro.
Got 118 yards and adding to it. There goes Barkley into the clear, through the snow, all the way home. He's hit another home run against the Rams.
Here's Barkley, a little shovel, looking for an edge, gets it. Saquon Barkley, first down. Barkley, oh! Saquon, touchdown!
The Giants inexplicably let their star running back depart in his prime, and their division rivals were right there to reel him in. Barkley was on pace to break the single-season rushing record had the team not rested him in Week 18. He set a franchise record for scrimmage yards and led the Birds all the way to Super Bowl 59, but Philadelphia's 2024 haul was no one-hit wonder.
Here's Mahomes, four-man rush over the middle, and it's intercepted again! This time it's Zach Bond, and the Eagles are set up inside the 10.
And a diving catch from a guy that used to play on the Saints on the line of scrimmage, rushing the quarterback. One of the signings of the season by Howie Roseman.
Unheralded linebacker Zach Bond turned into an all-pro in Philly. Who saw that coming? The former Saint amassed over 150 tackles in 2024, anchoring the #1 total defense in the NFL. Bond and company allowed just 9 rushing scores the entire season, second fewest in the league. The Eagles also got a huge boost from the return of C.J. Gardner-Johnson.
Rush gets intercepted. Breaking in front of that is C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and a house call. Pick 6 to open the day.
After winning an NFC title with the Birds in 2022, the journeyman safety came back for an encore in 2024, picking off 6 passes in the process. He started 16 games as Philly allowed the fewest passing yards in the NFL. Finally, there's guard Mekhi Becton, who turned his career around with an outstanding season. The Jets' 11th overall pick in 2020 helped Saquon hit that 2,000-yard mark on one of the best O-lines in the league. After back-to-back NFC Championship losses, the 49ers went all in ahead of the 1994 campaign.
I'm going to go out there and play ball and have a good time.
San Francisco did all they could to make sure they beat Dallas. In just the second year of modern NFL free agency, the Niners signed the future Defensive Player of the Year. Deion Sanders' 6 interceptions in 1994 were returned for an incredible 303 total yards.
Backpedaling goes George. And he throws, intercepted! Is he inbounds, Deion? Down the right side, yes! He's to the 50! They can't stop him! He can high-step this one half the field! Touchdown 49ers, and the entire 49er team has gone to the end zone to say hello to Deion.
But that's just the start of the class. San Francisco took the Cowboys' middle linebacker and the heart and soul of their defense.
Pass is picked off, I believe, by Ken Norton.
3-time Pro Bowler Ken Norton Jr. finished his career in the Bay, helping the Niners make 5 playoff trips in his 7 seasons there. Lining up next to Norton was linebacker Gary Plummer, a 4-year starter and another crucial piece of San Francisco's 94 class. How about some veteran leadership? The 49ers struck gold in that department with a trio of legendary pass rushers.
Aikman down by Ricky Jackson around the corner.
36-year-old Ricky Jackson, 34-year-old Richard Dent, and 33-year-old Charles Mann gave everything they had for the Lombardi Trophy. This haul finally put San Fran over the top as they became the first franchise to 5 Super Bowl wins. Okay, so this one's basically a one-man class, but anytime that one man changes the course of your franchise and the course of NFL history, it's gotta be in the top 5.
Drew Brees getting a 6-year, $60 million deal with $10 million in guaranteed money.
I just felt like they had as much confidence in me as I had in myself.
After the tragedy of Hurricane Katrina completely devastated New Orleans, the team and city was in need of hope. In came new head coach Sean Payton, and his first mission, find a quarterback.
Brees on the blitz, ball knocked loose and recovered, it looked like maybe by Brandon of the Broncos.
I think Drew Brees got hurt on that play going for that fumble.
After a major shoulder injury ended Drew Brees' 2005 season, the impending free agent was now a major question mark. Dolphins team doctors wouldn't pass him on a physical, but New Orleans was willing to take a chance. Best decision ever.
They were nomads. What would happen to the future of the Saints?
Walter Payton and Breeze. And the New Orleans Saints are headed for the NFC Championship game.
In just his first year, Breeze led the Saints to their first ever NFC title game. By 2009, he was Super Bowl MVP.
The miracle in Miami has happened. The Saints have won the Super Bowl.
Breeze was a savior for a team once called the Aints. He turned them into perennial contenders with 15 of the most prolific seasons we've ever seen from a quarterback. Breeze threw for over 5,000 yards in 5 different seasons from 2008 to 2016. He retired with the most passing yards and touchdowns in NFL history.
Incredible. Breeze. Wide open, and Smith. What a way to do it! In front of these fans and in this city, where when he first came here, they desperately needed a hero, and he needed to be one.
Could you ask for much more from a free agent signing? And oh, by the way, the Saints brought in linebacker Scott Fujita in the same class. He was a 4-year starter, winning Super Bowl 44 along the way. Speaking of a one-man class, let's take you all the way back to the first ever free agent frenzy in history.
I was really impressed when I came up here the first time. Green Bay was the farthest thing from my mind. And with the direction the team is going, I think that they have a total commitment to winning.
In 1993, Green Bay got the Minister of Defense in his prime, and boy did it pay off. Reggie White averaged 11 sacks per season, made the Pro Bowl every year, and won Defensive Player of the Year honors in 1998. But best of all, he led the Pack to their first Super Bowl win in 29 years. 2 years later, Dallas one-upped San Francisco with the acquisition of Primetime. After just 1 season with the Niners, Deion was off to Dallas on a long-term deal.
Deion Sanders is in the game. Now he's lined up in the slot position to the right. Now he's coming on a reverse. Sanders gets away from one man. He's got some room now. Sanders, touchdown.
The Cowboys went on to win Super Bowl 30, and Sanders was later named first-team All-Pro in 3 straight seasons. Dallas also signed veteran center Ray Donaldson, who earned Pro Bowl selections in his final 2 seasons. By names alone, we're honoring the 49ers free agent class of 1997. The only problem was Hall of Famers Kevin Greene and Rod Woodson played just that single season in San Francisco. The real gem of that class proved to be workhorse running back Garrison Hurst.
Going down, but it's been wide open from the start.
Hurst with a hole up the middle, he breaks free. 30. Midfield. The 20. The 10, 96 yards to win the game.
He had 4 seasons with over 1,000 yards from scrimmage for San Fran and was the 2001 NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Also in that group was offensive lineman Kevin Gogan. The guard made back-to-back Pro Bowls in 97 and 98. Through the rest of this countdown, you'll notice some trends as we take a few liberties. Championship rosters built over multiple classes within a 3-year span. Denver, for example, the Broncos' back-to-back titles in the late 90s were due in large part to the veteran depth they found in 1995 and 1997.
Elway with the look. Throwing it is deflected, and it is caught.
Wideout Ed McCaffrey hauled in 41 touchdowns between 1996 and 2000, 6th most in the NFL during that stretch. Guard Mark Schlereth opened holes during Terrell Davis's Hall of Fame career, including a 2,000-yard season in 1998.
Blitz is coming. Gilbert picked off, and here we go. Tyrone Braxton, and he will ease his way in for the touchdown.
Corner Tyrone Braxton started his career in Denver, then played a season in Miami before coming back to play safety in '95. He earned a Pro Bowl trip the following season, as did Big D tackle Michael Dean Perry, who played 2.5 seasons in the Mile High City. Ma'a Tanuvasa played inside and outside on the Broncos' defensive line, racking up 33 sacks from 1996 to 2000.
Play action to Allen. Throwback has to eat it as Neil Smith, the former Chief. Here's that famous home run swing.
Moving on to Denver's 1997 free agent class, we begin with defensive end Neil Smith. After making 5 Pro Bowls with the rival Chiefs, Smith won Super Bowls with the Broncos in each of his first 2 seasons. Fullback Howard Griffith was a pivotal piece of Mike Shanahan's run game. Griffith paved the way for TD and scored 4 TDs during Denver's back-to-back run.
Elway to Howard Griffith, and the fullback is to the goal line. Touchdown!
The Broncos picked up left tackle Tony Jones in '97 as well. The 4-year starter made a Pro Bowl in 1998. And don't sleep on the dangerous Darian Gordon either. He picked off 4 passes in the '98 playoffs and was sensational in the return game.
Darian Gordon forced back to the 7th and gets to the sideline, spins away from one man. Good return by Gordon, cuts inside, he may go all the way. Gordon down the sideline. He's going in for the touchdown. Darian Gordon.
2 Hall of Famers in their prime signed in the same free agent class. Give it up to Bill Parcells and the '98 Jets. 30 years after their first Super Bowl season, the Jets were once again serious contenders.
2nd and 10. Jets trying to root one out as the blitz comes. Martin splits it up to the right side. One man to beat. It's a foot race to the end zone. Curtis Martin cuts back 10, 5, touchdown New York, no flags.
Curtis Martin was drafted by Parcells and New England in 1995, and by '97 he was a restricted free agent, and the Tuna, now in New York, needed a bell cow running back to lead his offense. The Jets had to give up a 1st and 3rd round draft pick, but they got their guy, and the rest is history. Martin rushed for 1,000 yards every year from 1998 to 2004.
As the quarterback, the blitz is on, the pitch out goes outside. Curtis Martin being chased by Daniels, and Chris Canyon flies his way into Elam, breaks a tackle, he's down the side, down to the 5.
He led the Jets all the way to the AFC Championship in year 1. As automatic as it gets, Martin's best season came in 2004, where he paced the league in carries and yards at the age of 31. The other Hall of Famer from this class, that would be center Kevin Mawai, who helped Martin succeed at a high level for all those years. Mawai made 6 straight Pro Bowls from 1999 to 2004 and is a member of the Hall of Fame's All-2000s team.
Fred Baxter, the man in motion. Play action.
Stop!
Going for it. Touchdown, Jets!
The Jets also found a starting quarterback in this haul. At age 35, Vinny Testaverde still had plenty of game left, going 12-1 as a starter in 1998. He set a career high in passer rating that year too. Testaverde led the Jets to 2 playoff trips and produced one of the greatest comebacks in NFL history.
For Coles, and does he make the catch? He does! How did he catch that one? And for those Jets fans who left this stadium about an hour ago and whose radios are broken in their car, have we got news for you? Fake to Martin, then a dump, and it is juggled and caught by Jumbo Elliott!
The defense got a big lift with the signings of linebacker Brian Cox and D-end Anthony Pleasant. Cox played 3 years in the Big Apple, leading one of the league's best defenses from 1998 to 2000. If you want free agent depth, look no further than New England's collections from the early 2000s, 2 classes in 3 years that solidified the dynasty of the decade. Let's begin in 2001.
So let it go, picked off. Ty Law down the sidelines, touchdown.
Watch, Mike Vrabel is right here. He's number 50, and he's the guy, and he hits Kurt Warner. In fact, he hit him in the head just as he threw that ball.
After 4 seasons playing in Pittsburgh as a reserve linebacker, Mike Vrabel signed with the Pats and helped them turn into Super Bowl champs instantly. Vrabel went on to win 3 rings and 8 seasons with the team, none better than his All-Pro campaign in 2007. He was joined by fellow linebacker Roman Pfeiffer, a longtime vet who stabilized the defense. Pfeiffer had over 300 tackles in his first 3 years with the Pats.
At the 41. Here's Antoine Smith.
Running back Antoine Smith proved to be a steady hand in his 3-year stint in New England, over 1,100 yards from scrimmage per season and 24 total scores. Wideout David Patton settled into the number 2 receiver role with over 700 yards in 3 of his 4 seasons. Fullback Mark Edwards, guard Mike Compton, and D lineman Anthony Pleasant each turned into reliable starters over multiple seasons. But their most underrated signing that year may have been Larry Izzo, a special team star who made 2 trips to the Pro Bowl in 8 years with the team. All-Pro safety Rodney Harrison helped the Pats go back-to-back in 2003 and 2004. New England signed the veteran and immediately turned into the best scoring defense in the league. The Patriots allowed the fewest points in the NFL from 2003 to 2007, thanks to Harrison's presence. Also signed in that class was linebacker Roosevelt Colvin, who, like Harrison, spent his final 6 seasons in New England. He averaged nearly 7 sacks per season from 04 to 06.
And waiting for breaks and trying to make breaks. Carter intercepted by Tyrone Poole.
The veteran haul continued with corner Tyrone Poole. All he did was pick off 6 passes in his first season with the team, and to round it out was Big D tackle Ted Washington, who spent his only year in New England helping them become the top scoring defense in the NFL. Our final collection of honorable mentions starts with Tampa's 2001 editions of Simeon Rice and Brad Johnson.
As McNabb has it knocked out of his hand. The ball is live and it's picked up by Simeon Rice.
Rice dominated in Monty Kiffin's defense. He averaged 13.5 sacks per season from 01 to 05, making back-to-back Pro Bowls in the process. Johnson, meanwhile, stabilized the offense and did enough to get the Bucs over the hump in 2002. The journeyman made the Pro Bowl that season with a career-high passer rating.
Look for Priest Holmes here. Here he goes. He's up. That is it. Touchdown. NFL record for Priest Holmes.
One of the greatest free agent bargains ever, Priest Holmes went on to have arguably the most productive stretch by any running back in history. He made 3 straight All-Pro teams and found the end zone 76 times in his first 4 seasons in KC. Holmes set a then NFL record for touchdowns in a single season. The Chiefs also found stud center Casey Wigman that year. He played all but 1 game in 11 years with the team, forming one of the best offensive lines of all time. Wideout Eddie Kennison was signed in November, and we'll add him to the mix. He averaged close to 1,000 yards per season from 2002 to 2006.
Live for the moment, win this game first.
Gannon, all kinds of time, on the run, to the 5, touchdown!
From backup to MVP, Rich Gannon resurrected his career with the Raiders in 1999. He made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 4 seasons there and led the team to 3 straight playoff trips. His master class in 2002 resulted in the NFL passing title and a berth in Super Bowl 37. Also in that free agent haul was the physical backfield duo of Zach Crockett and Tyrone Wheatley. The former averaged nearly 7 touchdowns per season at fullback from 1999 to 2003, while Wheatley notched over 4,300 yards from scrimmage in his final 6 seasons. Okay, we have finally reached the top of the list. A pair of massive free agency periods put the Denver Broncos in our #1 spot.
It's the end of Peyton Watch and the beginning of the Peyton era in Denver.
A 5-year, $96 million deal.
My goal is to make Peyton Manning the best quarterback that's ever played the game.
After sitting out the entire 2011 season with a neck injury, Peyton Manning watched the Colts move on to Andrew Luck, but the Sheriff still had plenty left in the tank, proving that with an all-pro campaign in 2012. Manning was even better the next season, rewriting the record books with single-season highs in passing yards and touchdowns.
Manning out of the gun. Manning lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas. There's the record for Peyton Manning. 51 touchdowns. The new single-season mark.
The future Hall of Famer threw 131 touchdowns in his first 3 years with Denver, going 38-10 as a starter. He walked off into the sunset with a second Lombardi Trophy in 2015. Plenty more additions arrived in that 2012 class, including Brandon Stokely, Jacob Tamme, and Andre Caldwell, each helping Peyton produce at a high level. But you'll need to fast forward to 2014 when the Broncos put together a championship defense.
They start this drive and look out, and he loses the ball. It's loose in the end zone, and Green Bay comes up with it, but this is going to be a safety.
If 2012 was all about offense, 2014 balanced out the roster with a trio of excellent defenders. Veteran superstar DeMarcus Ware paired up with Von Miller, creating one of the league's best pass rushes. Ware made consecutive Pro Bowls in 2014 and 2015. Aqib Talib made 4 straight trips thanks to 6 pick sixes from 2014 to 2017. The no-fly zone defense allowed the fewest passing yards in the league during that span. They got a big boost from safety TJ Ward, a 3-year starter and 2014 Pro Bowler. Last but certainly not least, there was Emmanuel Sanders, a vital boost to Denver's passing attack.
Manning across the middle, he's there for the touchdown, Emmanuel Sanders.
He averaged close to 1,200 yards per season in his first 3 years in Denver, capturing a Super Bowl with the rest of these stars in 2015.